Zelazny might have a run here. He pulls up. 2 laps to go at Auto Club Speedway. What a run this has been. 5 cars out front just dancing around for the lead. Salas back to the bottom. Honeycutt stuck up top. Slide job out of Salas. Crossover out of Honeycutt.
23 showing a big run here. He does.
You see Salas starting to cover it up. He goes up the racetrack. Honeycutt's clear of them both. He shoves it up in front of the 23, gets himself loose. It'll be white flag this time by. Salas down low. Zelazny looking for a hole. Side by side, 3 wide, Coffee in it. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Brought to you by Whiplash Simcams. Who is going to win the Luke's Playhouse 200? Honeycutt controlling the race. Coffee in second. Tires are aging. Zelazny off the top rope. Got a little bit free. He's going to crash with lights. And yes, wall there. Who knows? Honeycutt, though, leading the race. Can Coffee get a run? He's going to send it. He hits him. Big bump and run. Coffee's going to try and get away. Can Salas get there? Coffee's going to crash. Salas is going to crash. Watch Nick Lights here to the stripe. Salas is going to do it with no front bumper.
Unbelievable.
Wow. There's the white flag from Barney the Flagman. 1 lap to go at Long Beach. White flag is out, brought to you by Whiplash Simcams.
Yeah, can really hold him off. He looked like he's started to gap Cantonio just ever so slightly. Got about half of a second. It's been hovering right around there. Oh, Cantonio really pushing. He's sideways out of turn number 1. But Rayleigh just keeping that car pointed in the right direction. Nice and smooth, able to keep it going. It's going to be tough. Antonio knows that there's not very many chances, even if he can get close enough to him to make a move. So we'll see as they come through 6 and 7, head toward turn 8 onto the backstretch.
Deeper in the field, nothing changing. Lap traffic ahead. It's Kevin Peak and Bradley Alvis right in front of our race leaders down East Seaside Way. and to turn number 9 for the final time. Lap traffic in the way, and Rayleigh goes for it on peak. He sends it into turn 9. He knows he can't wait. He knows he can't give an opportunity to Kevin Cantonio. Cantonio's going to take it anyway, ships it into the hairpin, and Rayleigh's going to get away. Thomas Rayleigh is going to be a race winner in the North American Racing League. A last lap bump and run wasn't enough. This man wins at Long Beach.
Wow, what a finish coming through that hairpin. I thought they were all going to wad it up. We had lap traffic in there, staying in there.
Welcome tonight to the virtual Wheatland, Missouri. Things are going to look a little bit different to get the show started here, but we'll be up and running in just a couple of moments as normal with graphics on screen and such. As for now, we are about to roll into the qualifying session, and we do have cars on the racetrack, and a look here at a couple of them. There's Gunnar Harris in car 54. Again, we'll get graphics up shortly. We're working on that in the background, but practice ending, qualifying about to start. My broadcast partner, Zach Myrtles, will be joining me in just a moment as there's a bit of extracurricular on the back straightaway. Lucas Oil Speedway located in Wheatland, Missouri. Just about 3/8 of a mile, Zach, and that's slightly longer than what we saw I-55 a couple of weeks ago to begin our tenure back with this series. That was a third mile. This is just a little bit longer, but we're talking less than a tenth, what, a half of a tenth difference between what we saw last time and what we see here tonight?
About, I'm not as well versed in dirt tracks as I am in asphalt tracks, but 0.38 is what the sim says for us, so that's what we're going with. We'll call it 4/10 just to round it on up, but qualifying is currently underway. Multitude of drivers have taken to the racetrack. First time on the board, that's going to be Josh Whiteman with a 13.2. Quickly gets passed up by Derek Petiti in that 41 car with a 13.15. As more and more times are clicking on the board, Scott Thompson goes second quickest with a 13.18. And they just keep racking off laps. Derek Petiti goes quickest with a 13.08. That is your quick time so far, as the track has definitely slowed down quite a bit. These guys were running 11.8, 11.9 in practice, some 11.7s. As we've got our first 12 on the board, that's Aiden Stuhl with a 12.69. Matthew Rogers right behind him with a 12.96. So more and more lap times just clicking on through as we roll through qualifying. Caden Berry goes second quickest with a 12.85. Mike Augustine, 12.88. Lots of beautiful cars on the screen as you are watching qualifying unfold here. Only 2 minutes is what these guys get. 20 seconds still on the clock. Aiden Stuhl still with a quick time of 12.69. Mike Augustine, Caden Berry, Ryan Avila. Sean Smith goes second quickest, 12.76. 5 seconds left on the board for these guys to click off their laps. All but 2 drivers have qualified here tonight. And it looks like it's going to be Aiden Stuhl with quick time on the board. That puts him in prime position for heat number 1 to start first off of what is going to be a very stacked heat. 9 drivers to line up in heat number 1. And we've got quite a few heats on the docket for tonight. We've got heat 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 heats up on the night, and then it's a C, a B, and an A main before rolling into the feature, Andrew. And I know for certain that I'm not going to make the same mistake of there being a C main, a B main, and the A main being the feature. The feature is different from the A main.
Yeah, I'll have graphics up shortly on the rundown of the evening, Zach, but as cars get ready here, heat race number 1 on deck. I'm clicking to make things happen, but we've got cars headed to the grid, 9 of them for heat number 1.
Absolutely. You got Aiden Stuhl leading them off the line with Ryan Avila to his outside, Tanner Pettit to the inside of row number 2. That's going to be your 3rd spot, with Miles Jansen to the outside in the 4th spot. Nick Larry in 5th and Joshua Walton 6th. That's row number 3. And then Anthony Whittle 7th. Rylan Neese in 8th. And then Logan Wank in the 9th spot. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. A lot of vowels. But the cars are rolling down the back straightaway. A couple of cars, I think, elected not to grid up. Get a couple of pace laps here to set the field up for what is going to be a very short sprint. 8 laps in this heat, Andrew. Not a lot of time to make moves. Not a lot of cars will transfer out of this one into the C, B, or A main. So, got to click them off best you can in these 8 laps and Got to make it worth your while. Into turns 3 and 4 to start the first race of the night. We are green flag racing at Lucas Oil Speedway for heat number 1. Tackling the bottom line, the 24, moving up to the second spot. That's a big run down to the bottom. That was Gunnar Harris, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to fight side by side for the second spot. Down into turn 3, gets back clear by that outside line, really trying to make a run up towards the front. Tanner Pettit actually in that second spot. Ryan Avila falling back to the third spot after starting second. Side by side, though, for that second spot. Still trying to fight as hard as they possibly can to make it work. That outside line coming in, a little bit of contact down on the bottom line. Aiden Stool stacking him up, trying to find his way to that checkered flag. He's going to have to hold him off for just 4 more laps. A little bit of contact again down on that bottom line. Up top of Villa, trying to steal one away. Stool makes a big slider up to the wall. New race leader, that's Pettit down on the bottom. Outside line coming back. Still side by side, rolling into turn number 3. What's going to happen? Who's going to get it? Pettit to the point. Avila trying to make it work on the bottom. That 72 car dropping back just a little bit. But it's going to be white flag in the air presented by Whiplash Simcams. 1 lap to go in heat number 1. Pettit has done exactly what he needed to do. He put that car on point. And he's going to point himself to the checkered flag in heat number 1. Tanner Pettit's going to win it. Second's going to go to Aiden Stool. He gets it at the line over Ryan Avila. And Nick Larry holds on for that 4th spot. If I'm not mistaken, that should be our transfer spot. It is 3 to the feature, top 3 to the feature. So top 3 transfer right there into the feature event. So a bit more of a rundown. It'll be 3 from each feature, so that's 3 out of the 4 heats. Skipping heat 5 and heat 6 on the night, we'll take 6 from the D main, put them to the C main. 6 from the C main, put them to the B main, and then 1 from the B main into the feature. If I am understanding that correctly, I am still not as well versed in my dirt as I should be.
So the
heat number 2,
the default, or not default, but the base format that the league runs does run a bit of alphabet soup, D, C, B into the A. At least as of I-55, and I believe here this evening as well, it is set to be a 10-lap D, a 12-lap C, a 14-lap B. The end goal is to put 22 cars on the racetrack for the feature, so that can kind of tell you we are taking 4 from the B, which means we will take up to 18 through the heats.
There you have it. A little bit more of a rundown than I knew of. Sean Smith is going to lead us through heat number 1. Matthew Rogers to his outside, Rylan Gray in 3rd spot, row number 2, and then John Klimowitz in the outside of row number 2. Jacob Harris, Joseph Groom, Casey Simmons, and Keaton Tripp. 8 cars in heat number 2. Like Andrew said just a moment ago, top 4 to transfer. Heard that one a time or two. Into turns 3 and 4. We've got graphics, ladies and gentlemen, and we are green flag racing. Heat number 2 underway.
And that first lap goes complete. We are properly racing now here at Wheatland. We'll recap some of the graphics you missed there at the start of the show, but heat number 2 on the racetrack, 8 laps the distance, 2 now down. The transfer initially is set to be around the 4th spot. How many heats do we have here, Zach?
We have 4 heats listed up on the docket.
So we should be taking 5. Yes, 5 from heats 1 and 2, 4 from heats 3 and 4. That will get us 18. So the tentative transfer spot then becomes this battle back here between Joseph Groom and Casey Simons. Simons in the number 10, Groom there in the number 11. This is tentatively the transfer spot to at least transfer straight into the race and not have to go through the consolations, as there is a great race further up as well. Great racing all over the racetrack. Here's the battle for the race lead. And that's a pass. Rylan Gray, slide job, crossover there from Smith. Sean Smith back to the point. And Smith is driving away. So Sean Smith, 1 lap to go. Brought to you by Whiplash Simcams. He's got the lead. Back for the transfer. Casey Simons is getting away from Joseph Groom.
One last attempt, Andrew, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference through 3 and 4. Sean Smith is going to lead us back to the checkered flag. Win heat number 1. It's Gray, Rogers, Harris, and Simons. Your top 5 in heat number 2.
As I was mentioning, we have other graphics we can look at, and we typically do take a look at the track map, and there it is. Here at Wheatland, Missouri, the Lucas Oil Speedway started life in 2001 as Wheatland Raceway, and this racetrack now hosts High Limit, U.S. Modified Tour Series, IHRA, IMCA, Lucas Oil late models, and more throughout the year. 5 cars should be transferring there out of heat number 2. We've got 8 cars on track for 4 to transfer in heat number 3. Let's meet the starting grid, brought to you by ATVO. And on pole, Mike Augustine. Look at that I rating. There are some high-class guys. You see the world-class license there for Augustine, and the nearly 6,900, nearly 7,000 I rating for car 19. Derek Patetti starts from his outside. Back in row number 2, it's Gunnar Harris in the 54 alongside Yancey Beasley, and a little bit deeper, Cody Downard there in 5th spot with Randy Shreves in 6th. And to complete your top, well, your field here in heat number 3, how about Jace Schaff and Richard Wolsifer? We see Wolsifer over on Tuesday nights. In fact, he ran last night in the BRB Sundance Pro Series. That runs ARCA cars on asphalt speedways across the country. And it's good to see Richard trading that in for a little bit of dirt here this evening. He did it at I-55. He's going to try it again tonight.
Is it too soon to say that it's going to be the second night he'll spend sideways?
Oof. Well, hopefully it's the controlled kind of sideways. We will send these guys flying here this time around for heat number 3. Augustine on pole. Patetti over his right shoulder, racing again at Lucas Oil. Good battle here, midfield. Again, it should be the top 4 that transfer on out of this race. And 4th place would currently go to one Yancey Beasley in that white number 22 on the outside lane. The 3D, that's Cody Downard. He's on the inside. That is for the transfer. Great battling ahead between Augustine and Harris. Slide job there at Harris. Not clear. Augustine going to drive away.
Gets the fastest lap of the heat so far, but Harris is not done yet. This is the fight, ladies and gentlemen. Look at how much they are getting up on that lip, on that outside line. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tough. They are still nose to nose, tail to tail. Not a lot of racing left to go in the heat. Oh, it's the... Oh, my goodness, it's the tire.
Oh, we're crashing. We are crashing in the middle of the field. That separates him as now Richard Wolsifer takes a massive hit to the outside wall, and that is going to be his hopes for the night dashed.
Oh, he has still got the alphabet soup to go through, and, you know, we talked about it, Andrew, as he rolls on past the tech bridge, takes a quick stop. It's a really wonky entry to pit road. It's like you have to take a really sharp right to get in there, so glad he was able to get in there without damaging the car any further.
Let's go back a little bit further. So Cody Downard there on the inside lane. That is the number 3D, or 30 in the session. He's going to get down into the tires here briefly. Watch this. Boom. Up the racetrack. I don't know if that broke anything. And then you see the other stuff.
Oh, spinning in front.
Yeah, everything else. And then Wolsifer trying to get by it, ends up getting in it.
Fortunately for Wolsifer, that would have been 3 spots right there. 1 out of the transfer. He's still trying to make his first official race start of the season. He tried to work his way through the alphabet soup at Limaland, it was a couple weeks ago.
That was I-55.
I-55, thank you. Oh my goodness. I don't know, man. Dirt tracks look similar to me.
We've got 6 cars left to go, it looks like, here in heat number 3. Wolsifer and Shreves have called it a night, or at least a heat. So these 6 will go at it for 4 positions in tonight's feature. The other 2 will be sent down into the consolation races through turns 3 and 4. Let's watch this restart from the fan cam. 3 to go in heat 3. On board with Yancey Beasley down the front stretch. That is position change for spot number 4. Beasley falling back over the lip there. And Jace Schaaf, I think, has got this spot, but don't speak too soon, Zach. 1 lap to go.
Still not a lot of racing left to go. It's big sliders into 1 and 2, Andrew. Path is made in the wall.
Big hit for Schaaf rather, into the wall. Contact here for 3rd and 4th. Augustine wins the heat. Harris 2nd. Patetti and Beasley trade some paint for 3rd spot. Schaaf, Downard, Wolsifer, and Shreves will have to go down through the consolation races and find another way into tonight's feature event here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Now, on the subject of this race car, Zach, we can take a look at the car specs as we did back in Peevely, and here we are taking a look once more. It's a stock block pushrod V8 engine putting out just about 900 horsepower, and there are talks to maybe try out 110% horsepower, not 110 horsepower, but 110%. That would put this somewhere around 990 horsepower if we were to do that. iRacing now giving us the ability. I mean, yeah, I mean we'd be closer to 1,000 than 900. I know that. So could be some crazy numbers being put up soon. These are the same cars that you see in the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars series all across the country, all throughout the year. You see some of the other details there, but we've got Heat 4 to go through, Zach, and on pole, here is Caden Berry in the number 22 alongside Aiden Forster. That's your front row here for Heat number 2. Back in row number 2, how about Scott Thomason alongside Josh Whiteman? Then Alex Kerstetter, good to see the Kerstetter name back in one of these races. Blake Carrick from 6th. And your back row, Austin Wagner and Brady Baker here for our 4th heat of 4 on the evening. Zach, we also have not taken a look yet at the weather conditions. Here they are, 66 degrees in the air. The track temp, of course, on dirt. Kind of throw that out the window, but 60 degrees, clear skies. It's a beautiful night for some virtual racing here at Wheatland. Race details brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. There they are, bottom right of your screen. Up to 6 8-lap heats. It would be 3 from each heat if we had 6 heats. We only have 4 here this evening, so things are slightly different. You see the rest, we'll talk about it all in just a little bit, but for now, heat number 4, about to go green this evening from Lucas Oil Speedway. Green flag for the couple of green cars in the front row. A bad start, though, for Forster.
Lots of contact right behind him, Andrew. They are slugging it out for the transfer spot.
Alex Kerstetter, here's his on board as he is now in the last position here in this heat race. He's got the most work to do right now, hanging off of his left shoulder. Directly ahead, that is Austin Wagner in the 42, and it looks like Kerstetter are going to keep working the bottom here.
Up on the wheel, down on that bottom line as Barry goes quickest. That top line is not to be messed with, and as this race goes on, Andrew, that top is just going to be becoming more and more usable for these guys all the way to the wall.
I'm surprised this 71 is way out there. Brady Baxter doesn't care about the cushion. He's jumping over it and still making decent time in this little group. That is way out to the wall in turns 3 and 4. And unfortunately for these 3, I think they're all going to end up shy of the feature tonight. As there you see Scott Thomason in the final transfer spot for now. Driver's eye POV here with him.
Look look at how much wheel input they have to put into these cars. You are so up on it.
Oh,
the
this
entire
is
time there is.
This is controller racing. He's out of controller. Watch the hands.
There's no way.
He's either on a controller or a really, really tight steering window. That is very interesting. There's your race leader, though, Caden Berry. He is going to walk through turns 3 and 4 here on this white flag. Brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams, and take the heat win and transfer on into our feature event. Forster, Whiteman, and Thomason will join Caden Berry in that race, as Baker, Kerstetter, and Wagner will have to go through the consies. Well, if you're new to Pit Stop TV, the way this broadcast started is not the usual. We typically have more graphics to run and such, so we'll be catching up on those throughout the night. But we're glad you're here watching some dirt racing with us this evening. If we could, we'll share some of the upcoming races here at Pit Stop TV the next week or so, between now and next Wednesday anyways. Here's a handful of the broadcasts that are coming up. Tomorrow night, we've got some road racing on the channel. The North American Racing League GT3 AM drivers are out at Suzuka Circuit. That is in Japan. It'll be a lot of fun. That's a really cool racetrack. Formula One was just there, and we were just there with the pro drivers last week. Then Sunday morning, we wake up with some Texas Motor Speedway. That's going to be the All-American Racing Network in their final Dash for Cash race this April 19th. And then Monday, it's out to Richmond for the NORA Retro Cup Series. 2003 Cup cars at Richmond should be a lot of fun. Tuesday, we do have the BRB Sundance Pro Series, followed up by our next race here for the Dirt Sprint Car Championship. That will be at Knoxville Raceway in Knoxville, Iowa next week. You see your social media links down below, but let's take a look at the starting grid here for our D main, Zach. C main, rather. We're skipping the D. Onto the C main, then. Rylan Neese on your front row alongside Joseph Groom. It'll be Cody Downard and Brady Baker, your top 4. Joshua Walton out of Australia down there in row 3 alongside John Klimowitz. Back to complete your top 8, Randy Shreves and Austin Wagner. And Zach, the back row, the top 10, Logan Wink and Keaton Tripp.
Pulling outside the top 10, you'll find Richard Wolsifer and Blake Carrick. Wolsifer actually has not rejoined the session, and Blake Carrick is, I believe, here. And then we've got one other that's making a little bit of contact, Anthony Woodall.
Yeah,
and that's back on top of the pace car.
That's not going to fly. Rylan Neese tried to go as soon as the pace car pulled off, and he has been parked, it looks like. Zach, is that correct?
Not seeing any black flags on my end, but
yeah, that is
not on the track anymore.
Not how you do that. You do not start the race in turn 2. So Joseph Groom then will lead us to the green on the outside lane, with now Cody Downard on his inside. And Rylan Neese will take it to the pit lane. Let's give this another shot. Green flag this time. And there we go. C main underway. Maybe. I'm not sure what's going on now.
Am confused.
It looks like this is going to be a manual restart, maybe? Unfortunately, we don't have a direct line or anything from race control, so we're kind of in the dark at exactly what's going on here, but it looks like they're going to try to put Groom out front, maybe? No?
Here's what I'm understanding. There seems to be a session glitch. iRacing, the iRacing.com sim, will not throw the green flag.
Interesting. I think we've seen similar situations to this in the past, Zach, and I hate to imagine this might rob some guys of an opportunity to transfer into the feature. I mean, Barney is displaying that green flag high and mighty. But yeah, you can tell we're just not getting anywhere. No laps are counting right now. I think we're in sim racing purgatory.
From what race control is saying, they may have to restart things. This is interesting. I've never seen this happen before.
All because somebody wanted a hot start the race in turn 2. Well, let's take a look at what else is coming up for just our leagues across Pit Stop TV. So we looked at this graphic already, and this is what's upcoming the next 3 broadcasts from there. As I mentioned, Tuesday night on April 21st, we've got ARCA Cars at New Hampshire for the BRB Sundance Pro Series, and then we go racing on Earth Day, April 22nd at Knoxville Speedway. That'll be a day race, I'm told by Brody Wilhelm. So it looks like these guys are starting to roll at speed, maybe.
Just clicking off practice laps, Andrew. They are going to be taking it back to the pit lane and restarting in a way to reacclimate themselves and get back lined up, so that way we can get a handle on this little glitch incident.
So is that going to be a new session?
Yes.
Understood. All right. Well, it's one of those nights here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Not only did we have some technical things on our side, but clearly things have gone slightly awry for the competition side as well. Well, this is a good opportunity to ride on board with Cody Downard here on the number 30. Let's see what it's like to rip around this place. And Zach, I was talking with Brody earlier. I don't like racing here. I don't like driving the car here at all. Down the straightaway, and you can see he got lost there a little bit, but down the straightaway, I just feel like I don't know where the corner actually is for a while. I just got to fling the car in, hope to hit the arbitrary banking, and get around the track. I think even when you went out for some practice laps, you didn't realize at first you can't use the whole racetrack because there's a drop-off.
There is a drop-off. It's right up towards the top. It's just a little lip. It's unnoticeable sometimes. You really got to make sure you're paying attention in dirt racing to see where that lip is, so you know exactly where you can put the race car, and I just didn't know where I could put it.
It's definitely a funky and challenging racetrack. Well, want to give a big thank you to our partners here quickly at Pit Stop TV. Here on the left side of your screen, Whiplash SimCams, MXWraps.com, ATVO, Murtis Esports, CC's Business, the North American Racing League, Whiplash Creative, and TZO Designs. So, Zach, it seems we will be taking a quick break and be coming back with, hopefully, well, I don't know what we're going to have, actually. I'm not really sure how this is going to go now, as the session has been, to my understanding, restarted. Well, a new session, I should say, going up.
Just about.
And yeah, Derek Patetti commenting in YouTube about the start there on the back stretch. That is a good lesson to not do that. Just because the pace car, or pace truck in this case, pulls off in turn 2. It's kind of like Slinger, Zach, on the asphalt side. That does not mean you go in turn 2. You wait for the start zone in turn 4.
Look, man, I race legend cars. We just go when the pace car pulls off.
Well, we are awaiting a new league session then, it seems. But for now, some other races coming up. If we look at the, let's see, the next league we have is the AM side for the North American Racing League. This is what they'll be doing. So the league that we will have tomorrow night will be the North American Racing League with the AM drivers. These are regular Joes, if you will, lower I rating drivers that are running GT3 cars to get their wheels wet, if you will, and get a handle on some sports car racing. You see they're at Suzuka tomorrow, then it's VIR, and then Road America to cap things off for the season. Meanwhile, Zach, for the All-American Racing Network that we'll have Sunday morning, that will be NASCAR Cup Cars. They'll be taking themselves to Texas this week for the 11th race on the calendar. They'll have a week off in between and then go racing again at the road course at Watkins Glen. Some other racetracks coming up for them. You see North Wilkesboro, Charlotte, Nashville, Michigan, Pocono, all the summer racetracks that NASCAR hits. They'll be hitting as well. We will not always have coverage on Sunday mornings with these guys. They'll bounce around to a couple of other broadcasters for alternate coverage, but we will have most of the season and the lion's share of the races remaining. On Mondays, it's the Nora Retro Cup Series. Again, this is 2003 NASCAR Cup cars. Zach, you and I have a blast with this series. I mean, it's just as I mentioned, 2003 NASCAR Cup cars, so older Cup cars that we grew up with, a whole lot more horsepower and a whole lot harder to drive than what they have in the Cup Series these days. I think that's fair to say. Next up for them, Richmond Raceway, the 3/4-mile short track there in Richmond, Virginia. Then it's the All-Star race at Charlotte, and then the points race at Charlotte, 300 laps when we go there in May. Dover, Pocono, Michigan, Sonoma, Chicagoland, Montreal, some tracks coming up for them. They have the extra road course this season with Montreal getting voted in. That will accompany Sonoma and Watkins Glen on the schedule. And then in BRB, Zach, this coming Tuesday, a week from yesterday, April 21st, we have what will be dubbed the Whiplash Creative Race-O-Rama or something like that, as we bring out some Cars movie paint schemes for those drivers next Tuesday evening. Should be a lot of fun.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I may die on this hill and I may get some heat for it, but I just think that if we're going to be doing something for the kids, doing a nice little throwback race in a way, maybe do something that isn't cars for once. Now I know, it's such a weird thing to say, but there were so many different things that NASCAR did through the mid-2000s to try and target kids and bring them into the sport. And with the cool idea with Whiplash Creative and bringing out the Cars type race, the Cars style paint schemes that we'll be seeing, I still think that we could use some light in our lives. And the Fox Kids NASCAR racers had a bit of a good run, 2 seasons, some really nice paint schemes. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so that's cool, but I like this.
Man.
No, I think it'll be fun. Third race of the season, you know, everybody's still invested. A whole bunch of Cars paint schemes. Lightning McQueen, Doc Hudson, Jackson Storm, Ruse Ramirez. I mean, not Ruse Ramirez. Oh my gosh, Cruz Ramirez. Yeah.
This is the same type deal when you thought Chick Hicks was 68. Do you know why Chick Hicks is number 86 though?
I don't know. I'm getting dyslexic up here. What do you have for us?
Okay, so Chick Hicks is number 86 because 1986 was the year Pixar was founded. And then do you know why Lightning McQueen is 95?
I did at one point.
Because that was the first Pixar movie that was released in 1995. Do you know which one it was? It's such an easy answer.
Toy Story.
There you go. There you go. Talking all about Frozen 3, but Toy Story 5 is coming out this year, so.
Hey man, Drew is in his Frozen era. He's all about Elsa and Anna right now, and yeah, that's his thing. Hey, good movies. Frozen 3 on the way. But anyways, we've got race cars on racetracks most nights of the week, it feels like.
Let it go pun.
Well, we can let that go and talk about race cars here this evening. Again, Lucas Oil Speedway. It's almost a perfect oval, but no dirt track ever is, Zach. I guess Bristol maybe was... Well, no, Bristol's not even a perfect oval. Things are just a little bit different each end of the racetrack to the other. And the pit lane here is the wonkiest part. We basically just go out and pull a Yui for pit lane. That is the strangest pit lane I've... I think ever seen. Even trying to make pit lanes work, you know, we do the cut through at Charlotte, for example, the dirt track there, and like that's funky. Even Fairbury is funky. The Chili Bowl is weird on iRacing, but to just go jutting out of turn 2 and then come straight back on, it's really awkward. And if anybody does have to pit tonight, Zach, under green, boy, that's gonna be a crash.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, per the league rules, if you enter the pit lane, you're not allowed to re-enter the racetrack.
Just getting off the racetrack, though, is the problem. Just trying to exit there in turn 2. Yeah, that's not ideal.
For certain, I tried to pull a couple of test laps while we were rolling through practice, and the second I hopped out on the racetrack, or at least when I saw my pit speed say that I could punch the throttle and put it out there on the racetrack, I put the throttle down, and well, I hopped over the lip and I almost flipped over the race car. So you can see it right there on the right hand side of your screen, right where those tires are. That's right where the track entry is out of the pit lane, and it's a doozy. Let me tell you, it's one that I haven't exactly experienced before, but you know, it's not the weirdest one I've seen. I'll say that for certain. You'll never guess which one I've seen that's the weirdest, though. You'll never guess.
Pray tell.
Okay, I will give you 2 hints. 1, this track does not exist, and 2, it is only in a video game.
You got me.
NASCAR 07, Dodge Raceway. They're literally in a stadium. They are in an actual stadium, and pit road runs all the way around the racetrack underneath, and there were, what, I think 2 or 4 entry and exit points on each end of the racetrack where you would exit the racetrack and go into pit lane.
Buddy, that's not just NASCAR 07. That racetrack was common through all of the EA titles there in the early to mid 2000s into the late 2000s before they relinquished those rights away to Technics. But hey, guess what? We are back in the session here, Zach. We've got cars on the racetrack, and watching here with Derek Pettetti in the number 41, third quick in practice. Actually, this is qualifying. They're already in qualifying. Man, they moved quick. But qualifying underway. There is Nick Larry in the 43. Jacob Harris to the top in what looks to be car number 10. Josh Whiteman scored as the 12 car. He pulls into the pit lane. Keaton Tripp on the racetrack. He's going to go slowest of the bunch so far. Tanner Pettit. Let's see what he can do.
So reset and refocus, Andrew. Pettit clicks past the line. Lap number 1 underway.
Ryan Avila there in the 49 car will bring it around town and complete his second lap of qualifying. Already on pole in car 49, Aiden Stull. Trying to go a little bit faster. Can he? The answer is no. Seems like lap 1 will be the lap of record for these guys. Here's Jace Schaff in that number 3. What can he do?
Off of 4. Bringing it right back to him. He goes slower that time by.
Joseph Groom hitting the racetrack. Here's the number 11. But he's not going to have enough time. That will wrap up qualifying here in the restarted session for this round here on April the 15th at Lucas Oil Speedway. So I guess we're going to go back through the heats. Zach, how many heats do we have now?
4.
4 heats still?
Still 4.
Okay, so the number should be the same.
No, 3. Oh boy.
Which
3.
means we're going to take 6 from each.
Yeah, a few drivers that had already seen themselves out through the heats opted to not rejoin this new session, and Race Control pretty much said this is basically a brand new chance to try and do it. So it's like we're starting the night over, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just end the stream here and start a new stream. Welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual Lucas Oil Speedway. It's a brand new day to go racing.
So for those of you that are new to iRacing here, there's no way. So the session was essentially bricked, if you will. There was no point of return in the previous session. You can't just hop through sessions. You can't go back and forth. It was literally sim racing purgatory. That race was just going to eventually run out of time. The session would close. And there's no way to go back. There's no way to bring results in. So the only option to still have a feature race tonight was to restart. Now, you could have just taken the guys who advanced through the heats. You could have done that, but that would not be fair to the guys trying to get in through consies. We then would have to figure something out for the other 4 positions on the racetrack. So really, hands were tied. There was not a better solution than to, unfortunately, completely set up a new session as we've done here. Quick rundown through the field. Let's do it right quick. Ryan Avila, Tanner Pettit, your front row. Blake Carrick, Caden Berry, row 2. Then Derek Pettetti and Randy Shreves. Cody Downard and Casey Simons, your final row. Heat 1 coming back at us. Let's reset and do it all over again, I suppose, Zach. 8 laps the distance. Here we go. And one lap complete here for heat number 1. The battle again will be for 6th position. There you see Casey Simons in that black and teal number 10, holding on to 6th for now across the straight, with the 56 on his outside is the car he's racing. The 41 is the one trying to get in. That's Derek Patetti.
Lots of side-by-side action throughout the field in heat number 1. Mainly single file amongst the top 4. Pretty spread out realistically as they continue to roll on.
Patetti to the inside.
Oh,
Simons up the racetrack. So Simon's going to lose that spot. He falls out of a transfer. Downer jumps the cushion, but still racing for 6th. Big move to the inside from Simons. It's not enough down there in 3 and 4.
Try as he may to put that car up to the 6th spot. It may just fall short, running out of time. 2 laps to go here at Lucas Oil in heat number 1.
Still racing nose to tail here for 6th position. Simon's trying to get that spot back away. White flag for the leaders, brought to you by Whiplash Simcams. Ryan Avila is the leader there. He is down the back straightaway. But for that transfer, Derek Patetti trying to get it back away. Simons is ahead through 3 and 4. And the battle to the line, Zach, is going to go the way of Simons. So
Gets it
Avila,
back right there at the end.
Avila, Pettit, Barry, Carrick, Shreves, and Simons will advance out of heat number 1 straight to the feature. Looks like we'll still run at least a B main here. I don't know that we're going to have a C main, though. So that we're a little bit lighter on cars than we were earlier. Let's take a look here at our starting order, then, for heat number 2. Zach, take it away.
Rolling off on the first position for this heat. And it's going to be Gunnar Harris with Aiden Forster to his outside. It's a big old I rating right there. 10,587. Wow, that's a big one. Third on the starting grid tonight, row number 2, that's going to be Sean Smith. And Jay Schaff to his outside in that number 3 car. That's going to be row number 2. Row number 3, right behind them, that's going to be Nick Larry and Joseph Groom in the 5th and 6th positions. And then in the final row on the evening, that's going to be Austin Wagner and Trey Schmidt in that 7th and 8th starting position. 8 laps. Once again, Andrew, we're going to re-rack them, restack them, and send them on their merry way.
Those weather conditions, again, they have changed slightly. 66.3 now in the air, 59 on track. It's very small difference. It's still very, very much the same evening, or close to it at the very least. You know, the wind speed is slightly different, maybe a slightly different direction as well. The humidity is slightly different, but for what matters for these guys, it's just about the exact same. The ambient temperature very, very close to what it was. So back to those Whiplash Simcams race details. There they are. You see these up to 6 heats. We have 3, which means we are transferring 6 from each. Then we will still have a B main that will send 4 into the feature. 22 cars will start that 35-lap feature when we go racing later tonight. Here we go for heat race number 2 into turns 3 and 4. Aiden Forster going to take us green. We're racing again at Lucas Oil. Big move to the inside, lap 1 out of Gunnar Harris. He'll come up short. That did not work out for the 54 car. And as they work down the backstretch, that transfer spot battle, Joseph Groom, the number 11, he is the last car in. Caution, though. Wagner's okay. It's Schmidt back here that has problems. And Wagner might have damage, actually. Yes, that left front is junk. With no fast fix, and if you take it to the pits, you're done. We may as well end the heat now. We know the 6th that'll transfer.
Good either.
Wagner going to try and stick it out, but there's no way he's going to make any competitive lap times with no left front of that car, so he will pull it off, and that'll be it for car 42. Let's see how that happened. This is actually back to the original start, so bear with us here as they rocket towards the start. Didn't take long.
Down to 1 and 2. Had to catch the car. Too much going on through 3 and 4. Oh, there's contact right there. Bounces right off the tire barrier on the inside, and then Schmidt just goes right into the wall.
And so we'll come back around with Aiden Forster at the front of the field. 6 cars still running. At this point, it's formality's sake. 2 laps complete, 6 to go in heat number 2. Down the racetrack goes Gunnar Harris trying to get an edge. Green flag, 6 to go. All these guys way up top. I will say, Zach, it's racing slightly differently. These guys are all at the top lane, and it doesn't seem as multi-groove. There is a pass, though, out of Nick Larry. It did not last long.
You just got to find your groove and see where you can settle that car in. Is way down to the bottom. The big pass by Larry. Shaft right back to the point. Oh, they're going to make contact. Popped off the left rear.
These guys trade paint in the midfield, but up for the heat win. It'll be Aiden Forster, white flag, 1 to go in heat number 2. Gunnar Harris isn't done. I don't know that he can get there, Zach, but he's going to try down in 3 and 4, and no dice. It will be no opportunity for Harris. Aiden Forster wins heat number 2. Boy, this track is a whole lot faster, I feel like, than it was in the previous session.
Might be. These guys are clicking off some solid laps right now.
Here we go, heat number 3 on deck, Zach, and looks like Aiden Shaw will bring us to the green. Here's the full field for you.
First up on the grid, Aiden Stool. He started first in heat number 1 in the previous session, but he'll roll off first in heat number 3 with Mike Augustine to his outside. Jacob Harris and Josh Whiteman make up row number 2. Row number 3 on the starting grid, right behind them in the 3rd and 4th spot. 5th and 6th, you'll find Scott Thompson and Yancey Beasley, and then right behind them, row number 4, final row up on the starting grid tonight, Keaton Tripp and Logan Winky. Please tell me I said that right.
I'm going with Wink. Logan Wink, but
Wink.
It seems, is no
There's a lot
longer...
of vowels in there for Wink.
Well, we'll find out at some point. Maybe we won't find out at all. But heat number 3 on deck. And so again, the session previous to this had to be abandoned. A driver tried to start the race here off of turn 2 when the pace truck pulls off, and that would have been an unfair advantage for the rest of the field. And we had to reset the session, so we are here again, trying this now for heat number 3, the second time. Aiden Stahl, the pole sitter for this heat. We are racing in heat number 3. Big move out of Augustine, slide job in 3 and 4. He holds it at the line, Stahl back to the inside.
Big slide down to the bottom. He's going to get clear of Augustine, who's going to throw right back down the inside there.
Oh my gosh! Jacob Harris was never going to make that work.
He tried as hard as he could to stick it down there on the bottom, but it was not going to play in his favor. Sometimes you got to go for the risks, Andrew, but ultimately he's going to lose the battle while trying to win the war.
Here's the replay for Jacob Harris. You see Augustine get stacked up to the inside of Stull, but Harris just went even lower and ran out of racetrack. Got all the way down into the loose stuff down there, into the tire on the inside lane. Here's a look back at it.
That was a Murtis Esports Murtis Mega Miss if I ever saw one on the top side.
Just way too low. Boom. And yeah, that was.
Ooh.
I believe that was it Whiteman? Josh Whiteman? Yeah, I think it was. With that Murtis mega miss.
Not a lot of time to go back and look at the replay, Andrew, because we're just rolling right back into the laps. Single file into 3 and 4. The pace car is going to make the hard left turn, hard right turn, really, as it already has. No, no, it's still on the racetrack. Never mind. It's so far out in front, I couldn't see it.
These guys will reset and have 5 laps to go here in heat number 3. The pace truck dives off and away into pit lane. And now we have, once again, 6 cars going for 6 spots. This is formality's sake. 5 more laps here in heat number 3, trying to figure out where these guys are going to start. Green flag again. A big start out of stall. 5 to go. Josh Whiteman trying to get up to the leaders. Here's his onboard.
Stoll goes quickest as Augustine knocks the wall down off of 2. 3 laps to go this time. Whiteman is trying to roll that bottom line as best he can. You can see, ladies and gentlemen, how that bottom works through the corner, but on exit, that top line powers as much as it possibly can, and they are leaving that 12 car in the dust. Well, the 24 car, 12 in the session. 2 to go, Andrew. 2 laps to go.
Towards the back of the field, we do have a couple of guys racing. Keaton Tripp and Scott Thomason somewhat close as they hit the white flag, brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. One more time around for each of these drivers, and off of turn 4, it is a heat race win for Aiden Stull here in heat number 3. He will start, I believe, then from 3rd position in our feature. Augustine, Whiteman, Beasley, Thomason, and Tripp will all make the, well, trip into the feature race as well. And so, B-main activities on deck. We're going to have 15 drivers on the card, Zach. They are not all going to be in the race, but let's go through the grid anyways. Your first 8 going to look like this. Blake Carrick on pole for this consolation race, this B-main. He'll start alongside the number 43 of Nick Larry. Back in row number 2, how about Yancey Beasley and Randy Shreves? It did not transfer all the drivers as we thought it would. So somewhere Brody changed how many drivers would transfer, it looks like. But that's okay. We'll work with it. So did it transfer 4, Zach, or did it transfer 5 from each heat?
Well, I'm not too particularly sure, actually.
So in heat 2, Larry finished 4th, and he's now front row. So it transferred 3 from each heat still. That's interesting.
So if I'm understanding this
So
correctly,
it has
it's
set the
3
field-
from each heat.
Right, it has set 9 cars so far, 3 from each heat. So that means if we're still going for 22, we're going to take 11 here from
13.
this B main. Are we starting 24 then?
I'm so confused, honestly, because it skipped the C main, went straight to the B main. It says it's taking 13 from the B main, and Race Control actually just came across and said everyone can take it easy because all will transfer out of
There you
this
go.
race.
Well, technology has just been that way tonight. Well, let's go through, let's bomb through them quickly. Blake Carrick, Nick Larry, Yancey Beasley, Randy Shreves, Jace Shaft, Scott Thomason, Casey Simons, Joseph Groom, your front half. Your back half then, Keaton Tripp, Derek Patetti, Austin Wagner, Jacob Harris, Cody Downer, Trey Schmidt, and Logan Wink. 2 of these guys, those being Jace Shaft and Logan Wink, are not on the racetrack. That means all drivers on the racetrack will transfer. This, again, is a matter of formalities. You got to figure out where you're going to start in the feature race. Here we go, racing B main style at Lucas Oil. So nothing seems to be going right for anybody here this evening, but we do get a lap in here out of our 10-lap consolation race, 1 complete.
Caution's out.
Scott Thomason, trouble. He's got no front wing. He has
No
hit
right
something, or something has hit him very hard.
I heard a lot of contacting the wall out of my cameras, so I'm sure we'll see something here. This is down to one. Wow. 3 cars involved in that one.
Look back at this. Thomason there in the black, red and white 6. Just came up the racetrack into that number 11. That is Joseph Groom. And they just made significant contact, wadded up, and that was that.
There was contact behind them, so it's stacked up a little bit. But that has no correlation to what's going on in front of them. But it just goes to show you just how tight these spots are on the racetrack, Andrew.
And Thomason was definitely working on control there. You could see the inputs going left and right very quickly, and that's something I forget some people do. And I started out that way. I started on iRacing with a controller. Part of it. Not everybody can go out there and invest straight into a wheel, so it's part of sim racing, as we are sending Thomason back around, actually, to get back up with the field. There he is. So we're taking just another moment or two here in caution, but watch the hands moving super fast. That is textbook controller racing there, but our leaders are green. Oh, contact there for the B main that doesn't matter, guys. Jace Schaff just got back in the race, Zach, so they were all supposed to transfer. He now is here to change that if he can get his laps back. I'm not sure if he'll be able to or not. But Zach, this is the only way they can let him have a chance to get back in, is crashing. Otherwise, they're all in. So Simon's
on that one.
Contact with the 21 car, and that wadded up that white car as well. I mean, this just wasn't necessary at all. That 21, I believe, was Keaton Tripp, and yes, it was. Then that involves the 42, and wow, right into our camera. 2 nights in a row, we have cars coming flying at our cameras. Austin Wagner was that other white car that with no faster, but he might be out. So regardless of the laps gained back by Jace Schaff, he might be done. Let's see, does he have his car repaired? No, he's in the pit lane still. So Wagner might now be done, and that could put Jace Schaff in the field. There he is. Oh my goodness.
All he has to do is turn laps, that's it.
All these guys had to do themselves was not crash. They could have run 10 laps at, 80% and been fine.
That just goes to show you, all they had to do was run the laps.
Well, here we go. 4 laps to complete this time by. That'll leave 6 to go in this B main. We're racing again. Austin Wagner, Keaton Tripp, they are in the pit lane. Tripp, it looks like, is going to be the one that does not transfer unless he can get back on the track somehow. But we are racing for the top spot. To the inside, here comes Nick Larry in that 43. Pass made for a moment, can't clear him. Oh, he gets into him. A little bit of net code there between those two. That pulls Carrick back. Larry takes the top spot. And Carrick comes back down low and can't do anything with it.
Just even out, gentlemen. You've got not a lot of laps left. It's all going to be for nothing if you try to force the issue too much. Side by side for the lead, going down into 3.
Big move from Carrick. Slide job. Can the crossover follow through? No. Larry can't cross him back up. White flag by Whiplash Simcams. Final time around in the B main. That'll take 13 apparently. And it's going to be Blake Carrick back to the line first. He wins the B main. It looks like Tripp will be the one car that does not advance if all 13 do advance. Boy, oh boy, what a hectic night.
Is it a full moon by any chance?
I do not believe so, but I'll verify.
Oh my lord.
It is not. We are right in between. I think we're actually maybe at a new moon, if anything. The next full moon is May 1st. And the next new moon is April 17th, Zach. So we are as close to a new moon without having one as we could be. The sim has advanced just a little bit further here in the session. You can see it got a little bit darker on the racetrack. And so we'll send these guys out for some reconditioning of the dirt. 5 minutes of warm-up that I believe will be advanced slightly soon.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You said Austin Wagner was out.
I believe it was going to be Keaton Tripp being the one driver sent home.
Correct, or the A main, and that was gonna allow Keaton Tripp to make it in.
No, I believe it was going to be Tripp out, Wagner in.
Yes. So the crazy thing is that they finished on the same lap.
Well, they didn't finish at all. They were in the pit lane.
Correctly. Oh, that's true.
Wagner was ahead of Tripp in the pit lane. So I would think that Wagner will get the spot and Tripp would be sent packing. But at this point, I don't know anymore, Zach.
Well, it's shown on my end that Wagner got the spot. So I saw they finished on the same lap, and I was sitting there kicking myself, figuring out what was going on. But, you know, Andrew, as we roll in now to the feature race, take a look at that middle groove. You can see it on the speed shot cameras. It is getting very, very dirty as we got a couple of cars in the wall behind. The groove is starting to form. They are pushing the dirt towards the wall.
Did you just say a dirt track is dirty?
Look, man, I got a migraine. You got to work with me here.
I get what you're saying. The loose stuff, yes, it's getting kicked up. These guys are running the bottom and the top end, and you've got that patch of loose dirt, the fluff, if you will, in the middle of the racetrack. That's going to give us two very distinct lines throughout the feature race. Well, here we go. A big thank you quickly to our partners at Pitstop TV, Whiplash Simcams, MXWraps.com, ATVO, Murtis Esports, CC's Business, the North American Racing League, Whiplash Creative, and TZO Designs. Quickly, I want to mention TZO Designs in that we have fantasy games in our Discord server for the All-American Racing Network, the BRB Sundance Pro Series, and the National Online Racing Association. Those race on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. You can get in on the fantasy fun, if you will, in the Pitstop TV Discord, link at the bottom of this graphic. Anybody can play. If you guys are watching, whether you're a driver in this series, a family member, a fan, it doesn't matter. You can get in, you can win free stuff. That is the essence of what you need to know. You can join, you can win free stuff. We've got 22 cars gritting up, Zach, and about to go racing here this evening. And thinking back, yes, the math always would have been 13, not 11. It just dawned on me. So, yes, 13 did advance, and here we are. Let's meet the starting grid. On pole, Ryan Avila will lead us to the green flag here at Lucas Oil Speedway this evening. That 8,200 I rating, nothing compared to Aiden Forster's 10,587. He'll join the front row. From third spot, Aiden Stull, 7,500 I rating. Tanner Pettit on the outside. He's got the highest in the session, I believe, 10.6K. How about that from fourth place? Gunnar Harris, Mike Augustine, they're good too. That's row number 3. Caden Berry, Sean Smith in row 4. And to complete your top 10, Zach, Josh Whiteman, and Blake Carrick.
Rolling outside the top 10 in the 11th spot, Ryan Avila. Oh, there we go. Nick Larry is going to roll off 11th with Yancey Beasley to his outside in the 12th spot. 13th and 14th on the starting grid, you'll find Randy Shreves and Trey Schmidt, and then right behind them, 15th and 16th on the starting grid, Jacob Harris and Derek Petiti. 17th and 18th, you'll find Casey Simons and Cody Downard, and then Joseph Groom and Scott Thompson. 19th and 20th, and two more cars, Chase Schaefer and Austin Wagner, your two final transfers. The pace car is off, Andrew. We've got 22 of the best lined up, ready to rock and roll here at Lucas Oil Speedway. We're in for a good one.
You wanted the best, you got some of the rest. Here we go. Ryan Avila into turn number 3. Aiden Forster on his outside. Green flag on the way. 35 laps the distance. Racing feature style at Lucas Oil Speedway. Cars all over the racetrack, dotting high and low. What matters is Ryan Avila just led the opening lap. Aiden Forster right off of his fuel tank. That is very close throughout most of the field.
Cars right there on the bottom. We got one car in the wall. You can see it just on a camera shot. That's Downard at the back of the pack.
And
we got more cars in the wall on turn number 2.
Wagner down through the grass of the infield. It has not been a good night for him, especially since the session reset. Boy, that is a lot of damage going on the 42 car. It's picking up on the left front, carrying the right front. That is not how that's supposed to work. Gonna look back here. This had already happened to Wagner. Something happened to him on the start. So he's not even part of the caution. Let's see this for Wagner down in turns 1 and 2. Is it all on his own? We'll find out. Oh.
Oh.
That's part of the caution then, I would think. Actually, no. Jacob Harris had a different issue. He ramped over somebody's right rear, and he flipped over in turn number 2. My goodness.
So that was the issue in turn 2.
That was the caution.
Caution turn 1, though. So that's what threw me off. You saw Harris. Oh, man.
And Wagner was down here already in the grass. It was Downer, the other car, who had an issue that Wagner made contact with. So the leaders will continue around and get the green flag this time by as the iRacing.com safety truck pulls into the relative safety of pit lane. We will send the remaining 20 cars back live around Lucas Oil Speedway 19, actually. Green flag back in the air, racing again in Wheatland. Battle for second spot between a couple of teammates. Forster on the outside, pet it down low, and that is blown up. Gunnar Harris now in 4th. Here comes Augustine, high, wide, and handsome out there. Good Lord, that 19 is hooked up top. Caution.
Caution's out, though. That's going to derail that movement up front. That's the 41 right there.
That's
low
Patetti.
And slow. Pulling right back up in front of the leaders. But he's got to make it to the pit lane somehow, but he's going to pull it up there and park it. I don't think he could move the race car, actually.
He was having issues steering after the damage that was done. So here's Patetti in the number 41. It's going to involve, it looks like, Joseph Groom in the number 11, scored as the 22. Oh, he hit the inside tire. Didn't he do that earlier as well?
Someone did it. I don't remember if it was him or not.
I don't recall who it was now, but I thought it was him. Just got 2 let on the racetrack. Boom, left front. And there's how Groom gets into it. He goes around then with some more contact, and Scott Thomason grabs himself a piece of it as well. And so we have dropped off the bottom 6 cars or so. That leaves us 16 here for the remainder of this feature race. There's the 1 to go signal from the flag stand. And we will try this thing again. 30 laps to go when we get the green flag. It'll be a Villa in the restart zone leading us back green, followed by a couple of teammates. Let's see what these guys have got. Green flag on the way once more. We're racing with 30 to go. Mike Augustine making some aggressive moves to try and make up some ground here. He's back in the 5th spot, teetering on the edge of 6th. And he is trying to go forward. He drops much lower there in 1 and 2. Let's see where he goes down here in turn 3, right back up to the top side.
Big closing right up on that top side. Part of me feels like you're just going to end up losing ground up there in certain situations, because that bottom line is just hanging tough.
Oh, and he gets past there. Caden Berry gets by. Some extracurricular deeper in the field, but Berry gets by Augustine. Now it's going to be Aiden Stull down to the inside of Augustine. That is the battle for 6th position. Stull, though, going to go for 5th. He gets ahead of Berry. Crossover now out of Berry. He goes back down. Augustine follows. Cautions out. Chase Schaff in trouble in the midfield.
of damage on that 3 car, so it looks like he's going to be able to continue on. The question is, will he? You saw him making his way towards the pit lane.
Gonna turn 3. Boom. Inside. Cut the tire again. And now this makes me wonder, you know, which layout are we going to see at Kokomo in a couple of weeks? Because that is not the next track we'll visit, but the track after. So, Zach, we're at Knoxville next up. That's next week for these guys. Then a week off, and then I believe we go racing the week after that. Maybe 2 weeks off, I'm not sure. But the next race after Knoxville, I know it's going to be Kokomo Speedway. And I wonder, are we going to move the tires in, or are we going to move the tires out? Because there's 2 options at Kokomo to have the tires out a little higher on the racetrack to constrict that racing line, or take them all the way in and give a wider racetrack. So I wonder, maybe Brody can message one of us and then let us know which layout are we going to see at Kokomo in a couple of weeks. Because we're having this many guys hit the tires here at Lucas Oil, it just makes me wonder if we'll see it again at Kokomo.
Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take it to Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, you know the words.
I'm going to mute you.
Oh, come on.
The Beach Boys are a classic, but don't quit your day job. Here we go. Green flag on the way. 10 complete, 25 to go. Tanner Pettit dealing some trouble in the form of Gunnar Harris on the inside. Gunnar going to get on by with a slide job in 3 and 4. That holds Pettit up into turn 1. Slider now out of Pettit. Oh, and Harris tried to go underneath. We've got trouble. Augustine is around.
Everyone just tried to throw it in there on the bottom line, and, well, you can only fit so many cars in one spot on the racetrack, and it just did not work out in Augustine's favor. Pace truck out right behind Augustine. We're going to re-rack him another time, Andrew, and get him back rolling.
The chaos was ahead of Mike, but he ends up paying the price for it anyways. We saw it all happen live, but let's see. So for Gunnar Harris down here in turn 1, he tries to go underneath the 24 of Pettit, assuming Pettit's going to go high, and it just didn't happen. That stacked everybody up down low and caused this one. I mean, certainly Augustine didn't do anything wrong. I would be hard-pressed to say that Harris did anything wrong, though, as he's going to leave the pit lane here, it looks like. Not sure if he'll be able to or not. I thought the case was if you went to the pits, you were done, but we will have just over 20 to go when we go back green. Somewhat slow going, I gotta say here, Zach.
It's been a slow one for the most part. We've had 4 cautions so far. It says 0 laps, but that is because caution laps don't count. We've still got 24 to go. 26 and a half minutes or so to get her done, which I think is still plenty of time for these guys, but it's been an upside down race, Andrew, and, well, I think these guys are ready to get rocking and rolling to the checkered flag.
Here we go, green flag on the way once again. There goes Avila. Green flag is back out at Lucas Oil. The top 2 on top of one another. Ryan Avila, Aiden Forster, very close through 3 and 4, all the way up on that end of the racetrack, and then back down in 1 and 2. This is definitely one of the more unique tracks I've seen, Zach, in that you can actually run different lines on different ends.
That's almost like a Homestead type feel, where you run bottom in 1 and 2 and top side in 3 and 4, but that's the asphalt driver in me speaking as they continue to roll. Top 2 trying to break away. Pettit just trying to chase him down. Stool a little bit further back, and then it's Whiteman, Smith, Carrick, Larry, Beasley, and Simons. Your top 10. The fight is a little bit more in the midfield. Smith and Carrick are going at it. There's some contact as they were almost 3 wide for a moment.
And here that battle is. Down low on that 24 is Whiteman. He scored as the 12. Carrick checks up. He scored as the 69. But on the side of the car, it says 21. He's going to race now with the 43 of Larry into turns 1 and 2. Larry on the outside, trying to make this pass work. This is for the 7th spot between Carrick and Larry. Ahead of them is for 5th. That is Smith and Whiteman. Here's on board of Smith. Problems.
And
Mike
caution
Augustine
out.
again.
Just as race control came over the mic and said, calm it down in the back.
Well, and I guess that's why he was saying to calm it down. Here's what happened with Augustine. Middle of the racetrack, just got up into Barry.
Ooh, Shaft came in there a little late.
If there's more to the story, there usually is. Check this out on the backstretch. One car was slow. That checked them all up in 3 and 4. I mean, 3, 4 wide right there. Augustine got
Nearly
tipped.
5
Look at
wide.
that. Wheelies out of these guys into turn 1. That makes a lot more sense as to how that all happened. Now you see Shaft getting into Barry there at the end. He made it out okay, but definitely shared a bit of contact. And oh my goodness.
Who is upside down?
I believe that... Actually, I don't know. Who was that upside down?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Chase Shaft might have seen... I can't make out the number on that car. Trey Schmidt, that's who it was. Let's try to get a replay of it quickly. It's going to have to happen really, really fast. Check this out. So he was ahead of it. Gunnar Harris comes up into him. Wow. I was on Team Gunnar Harris there for a little bit, but he just absolutely fed him the rear of the car and took him out. Well, here we go. We're going to try to restart this thing once and for all. 15 laps to go when we get back around to the start line. Ryan Avila out front, green flag back in the air. Big run here out of Forster. He goes low, slide job on his teammate. Crossover on the way, maybe out of Avila. Yes, back down to the inside for car 49. He holds it down low. These guys are bringing out all the stops.
Forster working that top line, seeing if he can't get back in front. Might try to pull a crossover move, off corner exit. He does.
Slider.
Throws it way down to the bottom. Big old slider to turn number 4. New race leader is Forster in the 20.
All three under a blanket. Pettit goes way down low that time in 3 and 4. 12 laps to go across the stripe. Forster leading, Avila second. Pettit, Stull, Smith your top 5. Carrick, Larry, Whiteman, Simons, Beasley your top 10. Now we've spread these three out just a little bit here. 11 laps to go. Stull starting to run these guys down. They all three have a different approach to the corner. I hope they all finish top 3, Zach, just so we can ask them each, are you on the same setup? Why are you guys all in different lanes doing different things?
Each driver has their preference as the 24 Pettit rips on the wall, gets up to the 49 of Avila. Trying to find his way past that car into the second spot. They were nearly...
Avila, big send! Pettit goes up the racetrack, but Avila with the slider for the lead. Pettit has a big run now to turn 1. Forster back through. Pettit follows. Avila's now down to 3rd. Switching back around. Avila comes back on the inside. He's going to go for the lead again. Teammates swapping spots here at the front.
Pettit is using the flat part of the racetrack up top to really put himself in contention here. What a big old move at the front of the field. This is riding on board with the 24. He is getting right up on the wall. He's right rearing the wall, literally.
Avila went back through for a moment. Pettit just drove right back by. Now 3 wide for Pettit in the middle. Unbelievable.
These
5 to
guys
go
are
this time.
slugging it out.
5 to go.
Anyone's race.
3 teammates trying to figure out who's going to win here at Lucas Oil. $100 to win. Pettit, Forster, Avila trying to settle this one between themselves. 4 to go now, and Pettit's starting to run away.
What would you do, Andrew? Would you wreck your grandmother to win $100? Because I'd sure wreck somebody to win $100.
I saw it last night. Doors were handed out, and that was for free. 3 to go.
Was.
Tanner Pettit leading the way. Great battles throughout the racetrack, throughout the field. This is a look at 4th, 5th, 6th, and so on.
Lots of fights going on throughout the top 10. Lots of positions still up for grabs. Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps to go. There you see everyone slugging it out. And
Caution!
caution!
Oh,
You saw it
boy,
right
oh,
there as
boy.
we cut away. Augustine went and made contact and went up into the wall. Andrew, we're going to have a 2-lap shootout.
Yes, we are. We're going to send it to overtime. Here's a look at it, though, for Mike Augustine in the number 19. He got hit hard by the 22.
Right rear.
That was Yancey Beasley that just fed him a bunch of right rear there. I believe that was at a turn 2, maybe turn 4. Here's a look at it. Yeah, turn 4. Boom. Just hit him into the wall. Glad nobody else was in it.
And that's got to suck for Augustine because he has been one of the fast guys week in, week out. And I say that. We've only had 2 races so far, but he's one of the competitive ones. And I feel like he has his shot up front. Fortunately, just...
Can you believe we're going to break this graphic out tonight? The
Oh,
LXRaps.com overtime rules.
You don't see that in dirt racing.
Not very often, that's for sure, but we are going to add a couple laps here to this race to try and finish this thing under green. It'll be 2 laps, a green lap and a white lap, then checkered to end it. Basically, if we complete this first lap and get to a white flag at any time, the race is official. If not, we go to more attempts. Green flag on the way. 2 to go. Pettit leading. Green flag back in the air here at Lucas Oil. Who's going to win it? A quiet run.
Hang on, Andrew.
Oh, Pettit's in deep. He got in way deep. He's going to hang on to it, though. Down the front stretch, he's still got the lead. White flag, 1 to go. Brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. But here comes Avila. It's going to be a mega dive down to 3. I think he tries. No dice. Back to the line. Tanner Pettit is going to win at Lucas Oil Speedway.
He expected the dive bomb, Andrew, and he covered it off perfectly. That 24 car is going to be going to victory lane.
It took us a little bit longer than anybody expected here tonight, but we have found ourselves a race winner here at Wheatland, and it is going to be none other than driver 24 Tanner Pettit here tonight. And I got to go back and check, Zach, didn't he win at I-55? I know that we talked to him. That much I recall for sure. But I have a feeling he might have won the thing. He did.
He did?
That's 2 in a row for Tanner Pettit in the number 24. We'll be talking to him as a winner for the second time in 2 goes. I think that's pretty darn good. That's a good track record here on Pit Stop TV for Tanner Pettit, as Ryan Avila will join him on the podium, followed up by Aiden Forster. I'm trying to go back to the results from that race. Avila went second in that one too. So to start things off, it's looking very similar. Forster does improve a couple spots. He finished 5th at I-55. He finishes 3rd here tonight. Let's go back and take a look at your unofficial race results here. First up, with Tanner Pettit out front, Ryan Avila second, Aiden Forster, your top 3, Zach.
Drive. I have no words. This was just an absolutely crazy race. Carrick 4th, Stoll 5th. Guys that definitely deserve to be up there at the front of the field. And then Simons, Barry, Smith, Larry, and Harris, the rest of your top 10. All of these guys just putting on an absolute outstanding show. Josh Whiteman, Randy Shreves, coming home 11th and 12th. Then Jay Schaaf in that 13th spot in the lucky number 3 car. 14th on the finishing order tonight, you've got Yancey Beasley, and then 3 laps down, you've got Mike Augustine just having those issues there at the end of the race. He just didn't have the best luck overall, Andrew. It did not fall in his favor, and then Trey Schmidt right behind him in the 16th spot, 17 laps down. Scott Thomason, 18 laps down in the 17th spot, and then Derek Petiti in that 41 car, 18th on the finishing order. Then Joseph Groom and Jacob Harris to round out your top 20, and then 2 cars right behind them. That's going to be Cody Downward and Austin Wagner, who only took about a single lap around this racetrack.
And winning here this evening, I almost feel like we should just do a team interview here, but Tanner Pettit, second time in a row here on Pit Stop TV, now that we've jumped in and Started covering these races. That's 2 for 2, $200 between I-55 and Lucas Oil here tonight. But obviously, there was a different path to get here. Take us through everything going on with just trying to get to the feature race and having to swap sessions there. Tanner, what was that like?
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed after the first session just because I was going to start on the pole of that deal, and usually track position matters a lot here. But luckily, Brody gave us a really good track for the second session, and it was a little boring for the first half, but it widened out there halfway through. And I knew it was going to be hard racing with Aiden and Ryan there. I knew I was going to have to do something crazy to get around them if I wanted to, so I ended up sending up there on that flat part, and it worked out.
Now, of course, we do primarily cover asphalt racing, whether it's road or oval, but I've done my fair share at dirt tracks. I know Zach has done the same. To me, at least, when we got into the second session here, Tanner, it seemed like the racetrack was actually pretty different. The conditions were all pretty much the same, but it seemed like with fewer cars and maybe more committed guys, you kind of ran the track in differently. Does that track for you, or was it pretty similar at first until it changed later on?
Yeah, definitely. The first session was a lot slicker, so I felt like it was pretty easy to go forwards or go backwards in your heat race. So you definitely had to be on top of it. For this one, you just had to be on top of your qualifying lap and hang on for the heat race. It was pretty wide open there, which that turned out to make a really good track in the feature there. And once again, can't thank Brody enough for that.
And of course, it's got to be nice to have two guys right behind you that you can trust. I mean, you guys were throwing haymakers, sliders left and right, crossovers to match. That was really exciting racing. What was your, I mean, I don't know that you have a heart rate monitor, but what was it like, all of that going on, you know, heart pounding in the chest? How exciting was that?
No, definitely. It definitely got my heart pounding when we started racing 3 wide there, throwing sliders and stuff. You just never know how it's going to end up and where to go, and definitely had to be on top of it. So that was definitely a blast.
Well, congratulations, Tanner. 2 for 2 here on Pit Stop TV. Best of luck. We'll see if maybe one of these teammates of yours can get a little better one of these days.
Heck yeah, I had nothing for him in the first half. I just got lucky there and with the top coming in there in 3 and 4, and was able to get a big old run without them knowing that I was coming. I'd like to give a big shout out to all my team members: Kenny, Aiden, Blake, Ashton, Clayton, Ethan, Ross, Ryan. They make me who I am today. Yeah, Jimmy P. Mag Tools, 1425 Photography, Ace Up Sim Sports, CDS Cinematography, Trackside Collective, Sim Rap Market, and you guys for putting on the broadcast. Can't thank you guys enough.
Hey, thanks for being here, Tanner. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On down to second place, Zach Ryan Avila, his teammate. Second time, we'll be talking to him as well.
Absolutely, Ryan Avella, you led a race high 17 laps. You had one of the best cars to beat, and well, you ended up getting beat there second on the night. How you feeling coming out of this?
Oh yeah, not too bad of a race. Really fun, to be honest. I mean, throwing sliders with teammates is always fun. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 finishes, pretty good in a money race like that.
Absolutely, and you know, Andrew had brought it up early on in the race, but since you guys were all teammates, all 3 of you, were you guys running on the same setup? And if you were, how was it feeling running 3 differing lines throughout the course of that race, going towards the end, towards the checkered flag?
Yeah, actually, we're pretty sure we were all on the same exact stuff. Maybe a click here and there is different, but you know, for personal feel. But yeah, there's the officials are there this week, and we had all ran you know, the opener on Monday, and we're all pretty competitive. So yeah, I think we got it figured out around here, and you know, just like a couple clicks that, like, you know, Tanner likes more than me is probably something that we change, you know, here and there. But yeah, for him to run the top like that out in 3 and 4, he's pretty good on it. And yeah, I wasn't gonna try it and, you know, throw away a finish like that. So I just stuck to the middle, and yeah, found a couple of different grip patches at the beginning there, and you know, pulled from Aiden a little bit, and then just the you know, back-to-back cautions kind of screwed me. But yeah, good job to Tanner and Aiden and Blake. All really good night.
And then final question before we hop you out of here for the night, you know, what's the prep work like for you guys? Especially rolling into the next race is going to be Kokomo. You're going to be just testing the setups, maybe listen to the Beach Boys a little bit to see if you can't get some extra practice laps in, or, you know, find a groove?
Funny enough, we don't. We only really practice for the Pro Series that they, you know, they throw on at the end of the year. You know, for these league races, we kind of just, you know, get in and, not to sound cocky, but it's kind of, we've got plenty of laps around every single one of these tracks. So yeah, we don't really practice for much of these races. You know, if it's super big money, you know, we'll throw a couple laps down. But yeah, for these, they're just, you know, kind of fun to roll in and see how we stack up.
Well, a standout performance tonight from all 3 of you, doing an absolute great job to keep those cars at the front of the field. Hopefully we'll be seeing you back at the front of the field at Kokomo as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'd like to thank Brody and you guys for putting the the stream up, and then everyone over at Tanner Pettit Racing. You know, Tanner helps a lot, and we all put in the equal amount of effort, and I think it shows.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the second place finish. Looking forward to seeing you rip it around the racetrack once again at Kokomo.
Yeah, thank you.
Ryan Avila, your second place finisher on the night, Andrew, and I'm surprised there's not as many people wanting to listen to the Beach Boys as we roll into Kokomo next week.
Well, that's because we run in Knoxville next week, Zach. So next up,
dang it.
Aiden Forster goes third place this evening. And Aiden, I saw the I ratings between you guys. Knew obviously you'd be up front. You started up front, kept it up there, but traded the lead a few times between you and your couple of teammates up there. How exciting was that?
Yeah, that was a heck of a race between Ryan and Tanner. That was an awesome race. I don't know if you could ask for a better one there. But yeah, we were just a little bit of a sitting duck there, me and Ryan were. Tanner found that extreme high line in 3 and 4 and was able to sneak by us. I did not expect him to get that big of a run, and he kind of drove away there until we got the caution. We had a little bit of a reset and were able to figure out what to do a little bit different. And yeah, we were all really, really close there. And Tanner had to try something, and he found it. And congratulations to Tanner. And it's pretty cool that TPR can get a 1-2-3 once again.
And of course, I know one of the big differences is we get to know all of you guys and learn the dirt side all over again. I know one of the big differences from real to virtual, for example, is you hear the name Davenport, that's typically in a late model. You hear the name Larson, typically in a sprint car, and vice versa. So you guys on iRacing obviously have the ability to run anything you want, night to night, even multiple times a day. Do you typically run these 410 sprint cars? Do you try some late models? What is your specialty?
Yeah, these sprint cars are the team of Tanner Pettit Racing's bread and butter. So these are what we perfect. These are what we race 99% of the time. And yeah, the results show. We put a lot of time into learning these cars and being the best we can and competing at the level we do. And yeah, hopefully we can keep the momentum going.
And between I-55, our first race back with this series, and now here at Lucas Oil, you're two guys ahead of you. Tanner and Ryan, they're very consistent, first and second both races. You've moved up, though, from 5th now to 3rd. Can we see you go up 2 more spots at Knoxville next week?
Yeah, definitely. Knoxville's a very good track for me, and hopefully we can keep the good runs going. I believe I missed a race, so we're a little bit behind, but we're going to keep showing up. Appreciate all these guys for putting this race on. It's fun to show up on a Wednesday and race for a little bit of cash, and yeah, we'll be back next weekend for Knoxville.
Absolutely. $225 looks like between the top 3 here. So congratulations, Aiden. Maybe you guys can pool the money together and split it evenly. Who knows?
Yeah, pretty cool. Like, once again, that we can race for a couple $100 on a Wednesday. And yeah, it definitely makes it a lot more fun to race for something on the sim. So like I said, congrats to Tanner, congrats to Ryan on an awesome race. And also I can't thank Tanner Pettit Racing enough. Tanner's the man. He's put in a lot of time to help us compete at this level. Also can't thank Jimmy Petty, Mac Tools, 1425 Photography, Aces Up Sim Sport, CD Cinematography, Trackside Collective, Blake Carrick Racing, Ethan Johnson, Simrap Market, just everybody that helps us out.
Hey, thanks for your time. Congratulations.
Yep, thanks for running the broadcast.
There you go, Aiden Forster with the 3rd place result here, Zach, and definitely some consistency so far out of this team. TPR, Tanner Pettit Racing, they, as Aiden put it there, they specialize in sprint cars. That much is very evident, and you know, as we move forward, I know we don't have a schedule graphic necessarily for this series because it's kind of just a year-long running. I don't think there's really point standings to what Brody told me, so these guys are just kind of running each time for $100, see who can win, and go on to the next. I mean, they've got enough different leagues and points that they got to worry about throughout the week. But next up for these guys, Knoxville Raceway. That is a wild racetrack. Flat, half-mile, super fast in sprint cars. And typically, you start out with a decent bit of racing room, kind of like we saw here tonight, but I do wonder if it's going to be a different kind of story, if it's going to get more single lane next week. That's going to mean qualifying, heat races, all that are that much more important.
Hey, Knoxville's the type of track that you just got to go for it. It's going to be one of the bigger style tracks, I'll say, on the calendar. It's, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Well, while you think of that, I can confirm, by the way, Scott Thomason is on a controller, PS5 controller, we're told in YouTube chat. So congratulations to him for making it work. I've just realized, by the way, when all the chaos, and I was worried this might happen one of the first times we did this, we remembered the first time we did dirt racing with these guys a couple weeks ago, we didn't get a driver of the day vote in today. Honestly, I feel like if we had stayed in that first session, Zach, I would have remembered, but since we had to switch, My brain just shut off. But do you want to, I guess, hand pick a driver of the day?
I'd have to go with Pettit. He won the race. He worked himself up there.
Well, there you go, Tanner Pettit for driver of the day this evening. I know it wasn't voted on quite like we usually do, but
a great job.
I guess Discord is having a moment of lag there. But anyways, there you see Tanner Pettit, driver of the day. Zach, next up for us, of course, as mentioned, we head out to Suzuka tomorrow night for the North American Racing League out in Japan. That'll be the AM drivers, the lower I ratings, but then we get pros out at VIR the week after. A lot of great racing over there on that AM side, and we'll have Chris Winstone back on the mic for that one tomorrow night. Gonna be a lot of fun, and then Sunday morning we wake up with some NASCAR-style racing at Texas Motor Speedway for the All-American Racing Network. That Discord is abuzz this evening. Their truck series went to Bristol tonight, and there are some feelings, that's for sure. So we're gonna have some electric, definitely emotional racing, both Sunday this coming week and I think on Tuesday when BRB rolls into New Hampshire. But before then, we also go racing at Richmond Raceway with the Nora Retro Cup Series. That will be Monday evening, April the 20th. Going to be a lot of fun with those 2003 Cup cars, Zach, and a lot of great places to watch along. I think Zach might have stepped aside, or Discord's lagging. Not sure which, but you see the links down bottom of the screen. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and X. All across the internet for us here at Pitstop TV. That'll do it for us this evening, though. Thanks so much for watching. I know tonight was a little bit chaotic between the graphics there at the start, the sim dropping out on us there briefly, or I guess having to be restarted, if you will, and we finally got through it all. Tanner Pettit, your race winner once again. A big thank you to our partners here at the channel that make these possible. Whiplash SimCams, MXWraps.com, ATVO, Murders Esports, CC's Business, the North American Racing League, Whiplash Creative, and TZO Designs. We will see you in the next one. That's tomorrow night, the North American Racing League, as they head out to Suzuka Circuit in Japan. Do not miss it. Otherwise, we'll see you next Wednesday as we go to Knoxville Raceway in Knoxville, Iowa with these 410 Durant Sprint cars. We'll see you then.